I think I did put you all a little close for womb yoga. So let me move you back. Okay, yeah. And I'm still feeling over here with the music. Oh, of course. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I've got all the hard beats for the morning time. Let's wake up. First, we're going to start in the rebirthing pose, so let's relax on our back. Put your feet together. Oh, yeah, it's raining. Find a place that's comfortable that you're slowly stretching. Try to relax your whole body. Your feet are together. Now just focus on your womb area. Focus on your breathing. Give it a few deep breaths. Fill your lungs up. Let's get into the advanced rebirthing pose. Lift your legs slowly. And try to relax the best you can. Rest for a minute to inhale. And again, we're not pushing ourselves super hard, but we are pushing a little. Rest as gently as we can. Again, we're not trying to push ourselves if this is too much. You need to find something that is your own variation until this is something you can do. If you can do it only for 10 seconds, just do it for 10 seconds. But I'm gonna try to count to about 30 seconds. Broken pockets, broken dreams. I have all the time to succeed happily. With my G, I'm sitting here on my own, feeling confused. I'm slightly amused by it all. I'm wavy, you have no control. My mind is lost in the night. You the way my legs did. Let's do our fire breathing. We'll do 100 today. But again, if you cannot, or you feel like you're, lightheaded, stop and just do some steady breathing, conscious breathing for a little while. Nobody, I won't go. I'll do all on my own. From now on, we're going to be starting the Sacred Sister Circle portion of the video. Thank you for joining us. If you just came to do some home yoga, this is one of the gateway sprays from Queen Afua. Mine is super old. I use it all the time. This one was for Sacred Relationships, which is Gateway 7, which I think is next. I'm pretty sure that's what we have coming up next, Sacred Relationships. Let's see. Is the earth wet enough to stick this? No. Doesn't seem like it is. Thank you for coming. Recently, we've opened our gateway of healing, of sacred healing, of knowing how to heal ourselves, those small things that we can do. And we've already touched on healing a ton, right? That's what a lot of this is about. But this is about really understanding your own power as a healer. This is about feeling like you can trust your own hands, right? Not yesterday, but last time, we talked about laying hands, how to do so, and why it's important to really understand that all you need is your hands, or all you need is your spirit, in a sense. And it's important to understand the power of that. And it is a powerful thing, right? That's why at the end you're supposed to drink some water, rejuvenate yourself. Whenever they say who heals the healer, I mean the healer should be upkeeping, and the healer should also be reaching out with other healers, for sure. If you're just giving and giving and giving, it's not really, you're gonna stop being a healer really fast. So I think it's important for us to keep that in mind as we get into sacred healing, and what that really means to us personally, and what that means to us for our families, and what that means to us for our communities, and how that inspires other people, even if it is just for ourselves. Other people might see our glow or feel it, or sense that energy, and it might just touch them for a moment when they see us, or when they communicate with us. But that's okay too. That's part of the process. So in the spirit of that, we're going to pour our libations today, honoring ourselves, our ancestors, on this beautiful Ancestor Monday. All right. We pour in honor of Sankofa, and we'll end with Ashe. May our hands be fresh. Ashe. May the road be clear. Ashe. May the house be clean. Ashe. And may our hearts be safe. Ashe. This is for our ancestors and any spirits we wish to welcome into our circle. I'm feeling so low-key, you guys. I only got up like an hour ago, I guess. I had such a late night. I had such a busy week. I had to go to battle with some ants. I had a lot of things going on. And then, I felt like it was a good day to do all of these things. So we're going to jump right into it instead of having a longer introduction as usual, because we do have a lot to get into. All right, so for the sacred healing, we're going to be on page 271 to 273 today. section is called Channeling the Gateways. Of course, the one lighter I bring has no juice. Has no juice. But I would like to smell an incense right now. Okay. Channeling the gateways. Let me bring you closer again. Oh, it's a little far. I don't want to drop you hella times. Okay. Channeling the gateways, we all have the capacity to receive the divine. Through channeling work, we allow ourselves to become vessels for the spiritual guardians. If we have been adequately cleansed in body, mind, and spirit, and are pure in our intentions, our request for guidance is granted. And the spiritual guardians funnel information, guidance, and healing to us from the heavenly realm to the earthly realm. If you are blocked and you need answers to questions, then open a channel into the appropriate gateway. To channel is to allow light to come through you. Before you begin, offer the following prayer. Prayer for divine guidance, protection, and purification. Ancestors divine, who are indwelling, I ask that you open the way for me to receive a healing. I pray that the secrets of my heart be revealed to me. Where is this? O ancestors, spare me from your jaws, which consume the hearts of the unjust. I pray that you guide my every movement, protect and purify my heart and my breath as I seek the wisdom of you. I pray that you will honor me with your wings of truth, that I may dwell in the lotus heart of Neferatum for all eternity. Preparation and protection work for channeling. First, you must purify the space and all of those who are to take part in the channeling by smoke cleansing the space with frankincense, myrrh, or sage. There are also other, smoke cleansing herbs and incense. This can be, tailored to yourself. Don't feel always, as usual, don't feel that you have to focus on a particular one. So you also, it's about what your own family's traditions are. It's not always about what this one is. Especially Queen's book is, really Egyptian centered. So, for a lot of people, frankincense or myrrh, they might not even like the smells, or it might not be something that they're familiar with or is traditional. So find the ones that, mean something to you. First, you're also smoke cleansing the space, you're smoke cleansing all participants. Then purify yourselves by drinking bitters. And bitters are bitter herbs. Bitters detoxify evil thoughts which come from evil spirits. Drink a glass of bitter herbal tea. So she says you can have golden seal, a fourth of a teaspoon to 8 to 16 ounces of water, or add juice of 1 to 2 limes to 8 to 16 ounces of water. Aloe vera, a fourth of a teaspoon to 8 to 16 ounces of water. You should avoid golden seal when pregnant. It would be also wise to look up other ones. Maybe there's other bitters that are easy to find in your area or very local to you. It's very important, especially when doing root work, to find the plants that are growing right around where you are. So find something local that can work for you, and it will be a lot fresher and It will be something you're connecting with in the land around yourself. Prepare the Neferutum lotus bath formula, which she says here. We have a sacred bath here. Combine 1 quart of distilled water or rainwater, 3 to 4 drops of frankincense and myrrh essential oil, 2 drops of lotus essential oil, and 2 tablespoons of hyssop essential oil. There's hyssop again. So then we're moving on to, and we're going to be doing a lot of water healing next Monday. So give yourself or the seeker of truth a Mott spiritual bath for purification, sweetness, and protection. Pour the Neferutum lotus bath formula in a calabash or a glass bowl, which you hold in both hands as you pray. You need a heavy bath for heavy concerns. So you have your sacred bath set up, right? Then you are going to have a bowl of this previous mixture. All right. Queen is often talking about the act of pouring over the head, right, during your bath. It's, first of all, it's such a cleansing experience. It's so rejuvenating. It's so refreshing, especially when there's all these different spices in there. In my workbooks, I put a couple in there where, you're pouring 3 times, like a hot one, a cool one, a hot one. And it gives you, it puts you in a different space when you have that water rushing over you. And of course, the different herbs that you choose to put in there. So here you're doing the same. You have the Neferutum lotus bath formula in a large bowl, either the calabash, which is, the gourd that they would cut in half and the bottom can be used. Or, they also fill those up and they can be used for musical instrument. So you can use those. You can use a wooden bowl. You can decorate bowls. You can, make this your own type of thing, especially if you're a healer, if you're somebody who does this for a living, or if you're somebody who you want to have this for when your family is sick. You'll have this special thing that you can pull out and you can use it. Or if it's time to celebrate, then you can pull out your bowl and you can use it. So it's really symbolic to have the glass or the wooden or calabash, the gourd, as something natural type of bowl to use. And I also think, a clay bowl would be absolutely beautiful if, especially a ceramic, a heavy duty, that would be really beautiful and long lasting as well. Let's see. You need a heavy bath for heavy concerns. Soak in a tub of Epsom salt or 1 to 2 pounds of Dead Sea salt for 30 minutes. Rinse, then pour the Neferutum lotus bath over you. Okay, and then we get to channeling. Lie down on your back or sit in a chair, close your eyes, and then begin to call on your guardian. The guardians that you call upon are all indwelling divine aspects that you can tap into whenever needed. And so in this case, she's talking about how at each gateway, we say for sacred words, it was to Hoodoo, right? And we're not saying that you're now only working with Tahuti. I mean, that may be specific for you and that may be something true to you, but that's not what the book is saying everybody should be doing, right? This book should be able to be used by people of all religions and spiritualities and belief systems. And so you're just channeling the essence of those guardians, which is indwelling. And you will also notice that, when you think of it in terms of your ancestors, that's in your bloodline. That's also indwelling. That's how talents get passed on from bloodline to bloodline, right? And, especially musical talents, it's really easy to see that. And it's the same thing. It's all indwelling. These are your guardians that are indwelling of those specific aspects of yourself, especially those things that you're trying to make better, those things that you're trying to make, so you could do better in this thing, or you want to be better in this thing. And so, you can look inside for that ancestor who is able to do that. Talk to them, see what they're about, and see how you guys can connect, and maybe you can gain that skill. Begin breathing full body breaths, slowly inhaling on the count of 4 and exhaling on the count of 8. Do this several times until you are completely relaxed and centered. Now chant the name of the guardian who rules or represents your quests several times until you are one with the indwelling spirit of that gateway. So this could be the name of your ancestor. This could be, and actually the name of the god or goddess of the gateway. This could be a personal thing. Who do you call on? Who do you call on all the time? Maybe it's not your ancestors, maybe it's god or goddess, whatever it is. That's that's where you chant this name. And you're envisioning the specific thing that you want. If it's not the guardian of the gateway, you're talking to this specific ancestor, you're calling to this specific or if you're just saying ancestor or Egun or however you're referring, you're thinking of this specific thing, this specific type, this specific person. Visit the Holy of Holies by going into your heart center. Visualize yourself standing before the gateway that symbolizes the truth that you seek. Open up the gateway with your mind. Go deep inside. You are now facing the altar of your heart, the altar of your quest where you are seeking guidance. Place your request upon your altar. Breathe, release your fears, apprehensions, and judgments, and listen with your innermost ear for the answers. Just listen, let go, and relax, and you will hear Mat, truth. If you feel a little blocked in gaining the answers, then repeat the breathing until you feel relaxed. If you still cannot hear the answers you seek, then you would call on Sesheta, the keeper of secrets, to reveal what you wish to know. Make your connection by repeating her name or by speaking to Sesheta from within. Say, Sesheta, divine inner guidance, I ask that you reveal the secrets of my heart to me that I may heal. You can say Sesheta, you can say secrets, however it is that you're willing to communicate in this way. And this would also be a good time to remember that you can call on Sesheta when you're journaling or writing in your wound journal or however you do that thing. Think about this at another time. You can be calling on Sesheta and just kind of channeling to writing as well. She says, advanced initiates, determine which gateway you need assistance from. Call inwardly from the guardian of that gateway as you face the altar of your Ab. To find which altar you need to work at, there are several ways. You can do some simple divination. You can cast lots, write the names of each of the gateways on a slip of paper and mix them up and breathe over them and pray over them, and then draw the one that ask for which one you're an apprentice at and which one you're more of a master at or more advanced at, and draw the pieces of paper. You can make yourself some cards for each gateway, and you make yourself some tarot cards for each gateway, one for each. And the gateways, what they are on the patreon.com/Sacred Sister Circle. That very first page, when you scroll down, I say what our schedule is, and it says all the names of the gateways. So if you don't have the book, you can find that there and look at what the titles are and really get a sense of where you are, and also maybe follow along with what we've gone through so far. We've gone through a lot of the book, I think, so far. So we're doing pretty good, I say. And then we'll start over again next year, I'm sure. Let's see. She says, call inwardly for the guardian of that gateway as you face the altar of your Ab. For example, call for Mat to speak through you if you have a Mat issue with finding out the truth. Call for us to speak through you if your question is about relationships. The guardians of the gateways will speak through you according to your needs. They will speak through your mind or your mouth on your behalf as they bestow answers to your questions from within. Departing from the channel. Once you've received your answer, you are ready to return from your innermost journey to the Holy of Holies. Begin to inhale and exhale deeply and fully. With each breath, say, Tua, Nter, Tua, Ma'at. Thank you, Divine. Thank you for the truth and balance. Tua Tehuti. Thank you for divine wisdom. Give thanks to the guardian of the gateway where you received guidance, or you may simply and always say Tua Nter, which covers all the indwelling aspects of the divine. Uh, maybe it goes without saying, to our ancestors as well is key, especially if you were only calling on the ancestors the whole time or your ancestor. So you cover it with to our ancestors and to our inter. Now that you have returned to the more material world, stretch your body with gratitude, for the journey is now complete. Sacred woman, the level and depth of your channeling depends on your ability to be in a state of divine detachment. In this state, you are unafraid of knowing the truth, for the truth will set you free. Only through Ma'at, truth, can you experience Kepara, transformation, leading to Sekhmet, healing. If you need to unblock your healing powers, when you need your healing powers to come through, you can say, O African spirit of Yamaya, bring forth my Kepra transformation. I think that's a bit bold. I don't know. Queen Afua, I wouldn't call on Yamaya if you have no idea what you're doing. But I mean, I would say if it's really serious, if you're really in need and you're really serious about going in there, you know, I would say get that channeling energy, because in some ways, you know, if it's a desperate situation, I would say that would be okay. But in other situations, I would say call on who you know, call on who you call on. Bring forth my transformation is a really powerful sentence that I think is really the jewel there that we need to take away. So if you're journaling or writing this one down in your journal, I would say, oh great African spirits, my ancestors, bring forth my Kepara, my transformation. However it is you feel comfortable saying that. I'd probably stay with English. Bring forth my transformation. That's powerful. And you know, that's one of the things I really love about Queen Afua, is that she's able to really she was able to really put a lot of the jewels in here that a lot of people love about the Bible, and being able to say, oh, like, you know, this is a spell book. And I say that, you know, this is a really good spell book. You know, I've clearly been through, I have 2 copies of this book, and I've been through both several times. And I really love her ability to utilize words in that way. And that's something that a lot of elders have the ability to do. She says, if for any reason you are unable to send out healing, cleanse, meditate, pray. Cleanse, like your detox, like you're drinking more water. Go drink it, like not even like you have to like, oh, like I need to go overhaul my whole diet right now. Like if you can, you should, I guess. But first things first, go drink a whole glass of water and really cleanse out your system. She says, there's a part of you that needs to purge deep within. So meditating, you know, you're reaching out in thought, and praying is you asking. It's you manifesting. It's you putting it out there and saying that it should be so, that it needs to be so for whatever reasons, whatever pure reasons you need. Are you using the evil eye on anyone or holding on to vengeful thinking? Are you putting yourself down? Are you blocking your sister's good? Are you putting dead or processed foods in your mouth, drinking from depression, smoking from habit, eating flesh because you say, this is how mama raised me? Are you being impatient with children, cursing your husband, eating or sleeping to suppress emptiness? All of these things block our ability to heal ourselves and others. If you desire to change your attitude, thoughts, and actions, then repeat the following daily or as often as needed. I have destroyed my defects. I have made an end of my wickedness. I have annihilated the faults that belong to me. I am myself impure. I am mighty. Warning. The evil eye can be used only in matters of life and death, for if the force behind it is strong enough, it can destroy an unrighteous enemy who is genuinely threatening your life or the life of your family. So I do like that she mentioned that, you know, it's there are times when you do need to, stand up for yourself, fight for yourself, do things for yourself. There should never be a time when you're like, oh, this person's totally destroyed my whole life. Should I put them in a jar? Like, I always find that so funny, when people say that, like, well, something happened to me. I think at this point, you need to do something about yourself and do something about your situation. And you definitely should not fear retribution at, a point where somebody is attacking you or won't leave you alone or won't take it, actually being told, boundaries, they won't respect them. There does come a time when you need to do that. Now, as she said, that's like life or death situations. Other times, as I've said in the past, take your broom. Oh, is my broom in the background? There you go. Okay, take your broom, sweep good intentions to them, sweep blessings to them. Be like, may they be so blessed that they don't even look my way anymore, that they get taken all the way to Timbuktu to a beautiful little villa and they never think my name again. May they be so blessed. That should be your usual protocol, right? But your other protocol should not be, it shouldn't be the evil eye and all this other stuff and like totally destroying people. That should be life or death, the total destruction, traumatic, terrible situations only. All right, we're going to end today with page 273. She has a piece in here by Kwasausia Kepera, who says you can't be your own doctor. I was attracted to healing because a picture of my mother that stayed in my mind. She was young and fine, around 19 years old, standing in a playground. I wondered how she, my aunts, and grandmother had come to change so drastically. At what point did disease set in? Where did the high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity get their start? I'd had fragile health myself in early years, and I knew that I also could wind up sick. But I believed that through natural living, I could break the cycle, beginning with me. My grandmother, Geraldine Burgess, died afflicted by many diseases. Although she took laxatives regularly, used vegetable salt, and ate plenty of raw grated carrots and salad, her feet still burst open from diabetes. Perhaps because she also ate a lot of cornbread, hog maws, chitterlings, and steak. Sometimes she was bedridden or in the hospital, miserable and in pain. When I learned that my great-grandmother Mackie was heavy into herbs and nature cures, I was surprised. She passed at 90 very peacefully and without pain, also without a wrinkle on her face. They said she died because she never went to the doctor. But it seemed to me that she had lived as long as she did because she took her health and healing into her own hands. So just as the medical doctor has diagnostic tools and medicine, you also have your medicine bags and healing tools, herbs, wheatgrass, enema bags, natural, live, and raw foods, freshly pressed fruit and vegetable juices. Vegetable sprouts contain large amounts of easily digestible protein, and when your fruits and vegetables are taken raw, their enzymes, vitamins, and minerals are intact and work like medicine for your body temple. However, in addition to consuming lots of raw foods, we also take nutrients. This is because much of our food is grown in soil that is devitalized and deficient. Soil produces foods that lack complete nutrients and minerals. Much damage is done to the soils by chemical fertilizers that are toxic to us as well. Taking baths with ingredients from the elements, air, fire, water, and earth, is also crucial as the body is made up of the elements. Exercise is important because only activities will burn fat and toxins, contrary to the popular notion that diet pills can burn fat while you sleep. With the healthcare crisis and skyrocketing medical costs, it's in our best interest to know how to heal ourselves. Vegetarian food is the safest fast food, raw, steamed, or in minutes, and it is not expensive when you stick to the basics and begin preparing all your food from your own kitchen healing. Yeah, I guess vegetables, I would say, I have a few discrepancies with some of the things she said here just because, raw vegetables are only cooked in minutes. I mean, yeah, if you have the time. I think, some of this is possible if you're, living alone or you're younger and you're able to do some of this, and some of this will be much harder transition. And also the idea, high blood pressure, diabetes, these things can be helped with diet. Some of us are bigger than others. So your size, I don't think should ever be your first thing on your mind. It should be what you're consuming. It should be what your overall diet looks like. And especially if you're trying to do the healing work and you're trying to, connect on a deeper level and you're feeling like you're not. I mean, if you're eating steak, that's probably why. And if you're, physically having issues and you're eating a lot of meat and dairy, that's probably why as well. So I think the first thing that we need to remember is that you need to focus on your how your diet is affecting yourself physically and spiritually. So the next time we'll do is healing with water and intuitive healing with like the pendulum and stuff. I think I'm going to end up doing a totally separate video for the medicine bag, because the medicine bag is like 2-3 pages of things. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if we'll just have next week only be Sacred Woman healing, get through it, because it's a lot. Okay. So I managed to forget my Adinkra cards again. So I'm going to have to skip that one today, but we'll do that next time. Hopefully I'll be able to get those out of the room and into the basket. But we will do the 42 laws. I will not speak in anger. That is basically a way of asking you to remain centered, a way of asking you to remain in control, poised, cool-headed, help yourself, because you're able to remain in focus and remain aware of what you're doing, but also you could be wrong about what's happening, and it's best if you don't speak in anger so that you don't have to take anything back later. Just and also know when to not talk at all. Sometimes nothing needs to be said. That bird is a strange. Huh. Oh no, it looks like there's like gophers out here. How crazy. It's so funny. Okay, well, that's really close. I'm in nature. Okay. All right, it looks like it's time to start our face jugs. So let me move you down. Yeah, you can see. I'll change the music in a moment. So I have here I use terracotta clay. I'm going to change the music now. So we can hear ourselves. Okay, so for clay, first, disclaimer, Hoodoo is for Black people. It is not for anybody else. In order to work the roots, you have to have the roots, and if you don't have the roots, you can't do anything with this. What you're doing is not Hoodoo. You're doing something else. Call it what that is. I don't know what that is. Call it whatever it is. But this is for Black people only. This is for use by Black people only. You cannot do Hoodoo. You cannot do root work. You cannot do Conjure if you are not a Black person. So you can just leave if you are, yeah, if you're not Black. And if you do choose to do any of this, may it all fail for you, and may you feel really dumb for trying. All right. So face jugs are a really old tradition that date back before America. There's something that started in the Congo. They called it the Nkisi dolls, and the Nkisi dolls were a full statue, a full doll. I'm pretty sure made of clay, made of natural materials, that had it was hollow in its belly. It was a hollow doll, and so the doll was open in the belly button. It was filled the belly button with herbs, things, curios, bones, whatever you're supposed to put in there. Won't pretend to be an expert of ancient Congo, things, rituals, and practices. I just know that the Nkisi doll was used for many different reasons. It was used by the people of the Congo. And as if you've been doing the research on where Black people in America, in North America, and the United States specifically came from, we came from typically West Africa and the Congo. And the last people, like all the way up until the bitter end, people from the Congo. So, even hundreds of years, or like a couple hundred years deep. The last people to come in on the last ship even some were Congolese as well. So, some of the last, so they came through, and they still had, obviously their thought process of how to do things. Now, teaching slaves trade wasn't uncommon, and also slaves already having a trade before they were enslaved was not uncommon as well, because they would put out petitions specifically for skilled tradespeople, because we were working iron, we were working clay, we were working all that long before colonialization, and they knew this, and so they were. It made sense to have somebody who had a skill, who could do something. So the tradition of the doll kind of made its way here with the clay working, with the ceramic working. But the body was lost. What they had instead was a jug, which could be used in a lot of different situations. It was very nondescript, it wasn't like a whole ass body and like weird looking doll that, somebody would be like angry about. It was just like, oh, are they just being silly with that jug? How clever, how innovative at the time. And so they started kind of using them similarly. You know, in public it would be used as like, you know, just a water jug. He has a water jug, isn't that one cute? And everybody would use this water jug. In private, it would be used spiritually. It would be used for reasons such as, you know, it would be used for reasons such as, you know, you would fill up the jug with various things for a healing jar. You could use it for the same things that they would use it for, things like they would put it on the, because they weren't allowed to have graves. This is a very, very common way that they're still found today. And keep in mind, people, they're still buried all over the place. These would be where this would be the grave markers for their family, because legally they were not allowed to have them. Legally they were not allowed to be having these burials, be saying this is where this person was buried, this person of such significance to me or to the community even, is not even allowed to have this. So they would make a special jug for them. And not only would the jug be their marker and be filled with things of their importance to them, of their spirit, of their ashe, but it would also be, you know, the ugly face of significance, because it scared away any spirits that would deter them from a safe, beautiful transition to the spirit realm, to where good things were awaiting them after all this hard labor and all this trauma and toil. Really what we saw at that time was it was a way of honoring ancestors. It was a way of honoring self, tradition. It was a way of expressing ourselves, a way of art, you know, and it was a very innovative, you know. That's like part of why I really enjoy it, and I enjoy doing it today, and I enjoy putting my own twist on it, is because at the time it was something that was innovative. It was something that, like, you know, nobody did that. Who put a face on on a jug? And like, not only that, like a crazy looking face, like a face you need to like look at a second, like, you know, face with a big ass nose and like, you know, some crazy ass teeth. And it was just something that it was something new. It was something that, you know, you wouldn't have expected maybe at that time. So anyway, so that's why I think it's such a freeing thing to work with the clay, and to, you know, just, you know, work with it and think about your ancestors and be free with it with yourself, because that's all they were doing. They were just, you know, reconnecting with the old ways and the best ways they knew how, and that was, you know, that was all that they needed to do, and they were able to connect with such an ancient thing. Okay. So what I've done here is I've mixed a little bit of the clay with water so I can make like slip or whatever it's called, which basically helps it stick together. And then I also have here a little water. All you need really is clay and water and a little something to manipulate the clay, maybe like a stick or something like that. I have a cinnamon stick here with mine. Oh, there we go. You can see it. There you go. But you know, just use plain water. If all you have is plain water, do your own thing. I've never seen somebody else do this. I just like cinnamon, and I think smelling it is like divine and just nice. It makes you feel special, and it also gives such goodness to the, you know, good intentions. That cinnamon touch. Okay, am I getting on track? What am I supposed to be saying? Oh, other things you will need if you have, okay, if you're trying to make an oil lamp, you will need fiberglass wicks. These are very cheap on Amazon. They should last, like, theoretically for years. It should last for like ever. And essentially, you see they come really long. You just slice them up with your knife. If you're making a smaller jug, obviously if you're making a huge, those are for like tiki torches, like, you know what I mean, or whatever those things are. So we're gonna wet up our clay. It's gonna be a really small little guy. I got a small thing. So the first things first, you make 2 pinch pots. 2 pinch pots. So I'm gonna make a ball, and I pinch in, and then you pinch around the edge. Because I'm using terracotta clay. I didn't mention that. That's what I was. That's what I'm forgetting. So, people in the South, go ahead and try and check out your riverbanks because your clay should be excellent for your clay should be excellent for making face jugs. A lot of our ancestors, a lot of our face jugs were made out of ceramic because a lot of people, not a lot, some of the people who were able to make them had access, but other people don't think that they didn't go down to the riverbank and choose some clay, and don't think that, again, white people, they're out there digging up our face jugs, selling them for $10,000 online, $100,000 online. This is not even a joke. Go check out face jugs, and they're in art galleries for thousands and thousands of dollars, more than any Black person could ever buy their own history. Who's collecting these? Why do they want them? What the hell? So many questions, right? But if you want to go face jug hunting, I mean, shit, somebody needs to start doing that. Anyway, so I have here a very simple, crude half pot. It's like a little half bowl. And I'm going to try and make my other guy also. I'm going to massage him for a second with some water. So you can be trying to use the clay from right in your local area. If you find that the clay in your local area is like you're like, there's pollution in my area, there's like mad pollution in my area, like you can't even walk down to the riverbank and reach your hand in, or something like that, or there is no water like that, or like I don't live near a creek like that, then I think terracotta is a really beautiful clay to work with because it's air dries. You will need to buy, obviously, with any type of clay you're gonna get, you need to get the spray. There's like that just a covering good. I went to my art supply store, asked for the shiny outer layer. I don't even know what it's called. I didn't even bring mine out here because it's such a blurry day. It's not my clay's not gonna crack like that today. But anyway, you do need to cover it with a nice layer of clay covering, which can be found on Amazon or found in your art store or found anywhere, really. Okay, so I have my second ball. I'm gonna go ahead, stick my thumb in, and pinch around. Try and keep it even. And they're just like a little pinch bowl, and like, you can use these. Like if you once you get into the clay, like it can be fun. You can make a little face on the side of these. Little. It's like the spirit of animism, It's throughout a lot of African traditional religions and other indigenous spiritualities and tribal spiritualities. Okay. Let me see if these two can fit together. Okay, so we're going to take whatever your little tool is. Maybe you have a knife, maybe you have nothing else, I don't know. I said you just needed one tool. Maybe you have a toothpick. I like those. I think they were really nice to use. These little grooves will help it so that they kind of meld in together a little better. I don't know. Okay.
So we're going to take a little of that slip we've made and wet the grooves. We're just wetting with this stuff we've made, this little mixture. I want this to be my bottom. So I'm going to it's going to be like the smallest little guy I've ever made. Okay, so I've kind of squished my little guy together, and this guy's going to be way too small to make like a, I guess he could be a little tiny oil lamp. We'll try. I think I did bring my scissors out here. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so we're going to try and connect them just like this. Just start with the, like I've tried to connect them already with my hands, but we're going to like go crazy. Stitches. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and try and smooth it together. We're just trying to connect these two little, we put the two together. I should probably make a definitive bottom for mine. There we go. I should probably take this out of the way. It's not that way. Okay. And you know, your music should reflect what's happening. Like, you know, your purpose. If your purpose isn't happy or however the music makes you feel, it should be relevant. Water. And if you haven't already invited your ancestors into your space, you should have done that already as well. I should have said that. You know, we already did that here today, but you should be doing that for yourself. And you should also be praying about whatever it is that you're making your jug for. This jug is for teaching you guys. This little guy is for teaching. So I'm just talking along, but your talking should be about whatever your situation is. Alright, next, we're going to start with the small end. And this is where your water would go. And if you're making yours they're so cute. Okay, anyways, if you're making yours an oil lamp, you're gonna have two bowls. One, you're gonna pour your oil in, and two, you're going to stick your little, what's it called? Fiberglass thing in. So, let's see. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try and make this guy really tiny oil lamp. Okay. So the little one, I'd stick my fiberglass in here, pour my oil, let the fiberglass soak up all the oil. You'll just have a simple oil. I'll pick that up later with my clay hands. Okay. So, where am I? Okay, onto the face. Okay. You see my little guy? Perfect. Now, to keep it simple, if you don't want for your face, you could just use like 4 cowrie shells. It's very simple. 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth. Boom. Done. But let me see. But anyways, yeah, I was going to also add, that's why I feel it's so important for us to really feel that we have the freedom to, expand what face jugs look like. So if you want yours to look beautiful, you can make it look a little more beautiful, or you can add little touches to make them personal to someone in particular or some situation in particular. I think we honoring that face jugs are. I think this may be a little too big. The shell I brought is like huge. Okay, so making them personal. I have these are like those little things you find at a fishbowl. It's like flat on one side and round on the other. If when you paint one side and use all your pretty colors of acrylic paints, it looks like little eyes, and so I've used those for eyes instead, but I wanted to just show with regular eyes. So you'll just simply make those little balls, rough them up on two sides and then stretch them onto each other, apply, and you can keep it really traditional in that sense, just using only the clay. And then of course you can decorate. I have a shell here. I'm still trying to see if I can justify slamming it in here somewhere. So I really felt like this one needed a shell for some reason. Might do that. Get a little support back here. All right, other things you can use these for, if you don't end up using it for being an oil lamp, you can use it for offerings, you can use them for incense. I usually, for mine, stick behind the eye a little bit, so an incense can be used nearby. There you go. And then, hold on. I got for our eyes, I'm going to flatten. Eyelid. We're going to redo that. We need a nose. Kind of like the bigger noses, so I do. Okay, so we're gonna connect it a little pyramid. Okay. Stretch her up. Nice and easy. Okay, so as you can see, the nose is now completed. It has a bridge. It has some nostrils. And there's this little guy, so cute. Okay, and then we have some lips to me. I find it easier to kind of apply and then reduce as that goes on. So, let's see. Let's see if I can get this right today. I probably should have done a little more to those too, but anyway. Alright, there we we go. It's like looking all right so far. Exaggerated features, like again, it just depends. Especially for your use. If you're using it just, to put on your altar and you want it to look nice, or maybe it can have an ugly face, but you paint it really pretty, or I don't know, however it is you do things. So I'm just taking out a little of that cinnamon water and just smoothing onto it. And again, your water does not have to have cinnamon. It can have whatever herb you like. It can just be plain old water, however it goes down for you. I'm going to start trying to connect these two really. Alright, so this is the basics. If you were trying to fill yours up with oil, you're going to again stick your fiberglass wick in here, fill it up. If you are trying to decorate yours any further, for example, I have like some of these. Let me get some of these out. So I was gonna put some flowers on this one. I might take this shell off. Just have this one be a flowers. The shell, it's like supporting. It's beautiful. Paint over it. Okay, anyway. So if this is a time when you can like stick things in here, that's your thing. Don't be like me and just stick a bead in there. You kick out immediately. Okay. This is a time you can do that because it's soft. The clay is soft. You can also paint right now if you're feeling like it. Terracotta can be painted immediately and it will dry still very nicely. What else? You can use acrylic or you can use watercolor. We'll still work on this. Now is the time you're gonna go back and you make sure you're reinforced. That's the word I'm looking for. Make sure you you're not falling apart too thin in some places, because clay is forgiving. Clay you can use, you know, you can restart and reshape, and it's pretty forgiving. And it's like this clay too, if I decided I hated this right now and I just crushed it down and used some cinnamon water and squinched it up, it would be fine. So, keeping in mind that you've been praying this whole time over this, right? You haven't been just chit-chatting like me. You've been focused on what it is that you're, you know, thinking about. You're going to next, you know, you're going to keep it outside for a little while, or you can keep it inside. I mean, it will just take a little longer. You can paint it after it's dry. You can paint it, you know, and then, you know, just tweak it, keep going with it until you feel like it's right. And when you do finally feel like, you know, you're finished with it, and you know, like it's what you know, it's what you like. I can't believe I didn't even bring out the one I always bring out for libations today. But anyways, you've seen it in other videos of mine. You know, it can be painted bright, it can be painted, you know, really dim, however it is you like. And when you're done, you can, what is that I was going to say about this? So I said you could paint it, I said all that shit. Okay, let's see. I think that's... Okay, so you can use it for offerings. You can put it on your front porch to, you know, scare away spirits. Is something our ancestors did as well. That one would probably have a much uglier face than this guy. But this guy's for a different purpose. And you can make one just for your, you know, to represent the ancestors. You can make one with just the cowrie shells. You can make them for any reason you would use a jar spell. This could be your jar. Easy, and it ups, you know, everything, all your intention 1,000-fold. It can, and the best part about clay is you can put, you know, it can be a jar full of like some of the nasty stuff. It can be a jar full of some of the nicer stuff, and it will still hold pretty well. When you're making a jar spell, you'll then take another lump of clay, cover the top, seal it, don't open it again, keep it there, and then if you use it for other things, like there are some things that you might keep it open, you know, and switch out, whatever it is. You can use it for offering water, you can use it for, I mean, like, use your imagination. I don't want to give all of them, but I guess, like, that's the you know, the basics, all the things you can use a container for, you can use your jar for that you made, and it has a lot of intention, it has a lot of beauty to it. So anyways, I'm gonna let this guy dry a little because he's a little wet, and then I'll paint him later. But this is my jar, my little jar. I didn't take too long. Like 38 minutes, that's not so bad for a really tiny jar. But yes, you can make yours a lot scarier. You can make yours a lot, you know, more simple. This one, he'll probably, I don't know where he's going quite yet. He might sit in the garden. Who knows? All right. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me here out in the great outdoors in the rain. I hope you enjoyed today's Sister Circle, and feel that, you know, you've learned something, or that we've managed to have a sacred experience together. And let me see, I'll be able to get my hands clean enough to turn off the camera. Oh, I forgot to say the importance of oil jars, and like making the oil jars, because the oil jars, when you're using it for oil, you can put herbs and stuff in this too. That's why this is also very cool. Also, it's like really cheap. Like I'm telling you, the fiberglass things, like I got a bunch of those for like $5. I got the oil. It's cheap, and this is gonna, think of how much this little guy holds. Not so much, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be it's going to take a long time. And so people who are always spending money on these candles, and they're like, oh, these candles, they're so expensive, these candles. Well, like, you don't have to use the candles. The candles are optional. Using the oil lamp and making one of these and all that will save you so much money in the long run. And yeah, and this way you don't have to just, spend money on another thing. You can make it the oil lamp and be done. All right, so I hope you learned, and may your ancestors be with you at every crossroads. I will see you all next Monday.